Hey everybody, welcome to the fifth episode. So it's Friday. Um, this is my fifth toy collecting video, which again, it's not just toys, but toys is kind of the main theme here, specifically action figures. Um, Today, let's do He-Man. We might as well jump into that. I've touched on it a little bit here and there, but let's get kind of into at least the first part about it, because this could easily be a 10-part episode, but let's just call this the 1982, or maybe even just my uh, reimagining. That's not the best word. A new experience with it, going into the modern toy line with the Origins. Um, like I said before in videos, I was there at Ground Zero, 1982. I can't remember exactly how I learned of He-Man originally. I know I had a neighbor that was really into it. He was also like my Dungeons and Dragons buddy, um, and he ended up talking about it. I know there was commercials on TV for it. This must have been pretty early on in maybe the summer-ish of 1982. It could have been fall, but I'm not exactly sure when. I could look it up, but as far as my experience with it, it was that year, but I'm not exactly sure when. I could have just discovered it at the toy store. Kitty Land was my go-to toy store as a kid in Rochester, Michigan. Um, and when I first learned of it, the first thing, that struck me right off the bat was Skeletor. I mean, he's a guy, just coming out of this Dungeons and Dragons, or still in the thick of this Dungeons and Dragons thing, this fantasy thing, and then suddenly you get a skull-faced dude, with a hood. How could you go wrong with that? If you're at the time, a 9-year-old boy. And of course, eventually, you got Castle Grayskull with the big skull there. Skulls, they seem to be, tap into something, especially in a young boy's mind, even, grown men too. They just look cool. I'm not a skull freak. I'm not like, oh, I gotta have skull everything, but, I think they're cool. So, I told the story about my dad, I'm begging my dad for Skeletor. I got him from Kittyland. My second figure was Zodak, or Zodiac as I call him. And I got him at a service merchandise with my mom and her friend. Now that was, like I said, that was a snowy night, so this might have been closer to the fall, into the winter, when I started to get them. Then I got the Wind Raider, and I remember having a discussion with the kid down the street, who was into the He-Man stuff as well. He got Teela, and I had the Wind Raider, and he got jealous. It was kind of funny. I remember we were in his driveway. His dad had an old Mustang that I think it was restored, but he was out washing it or putting it away for the evening, because I know it was kind of dusk out. And, we were in the backyard, I think on like a picnic table, playing with the toys, and I had my Wind Raider. And I remember him telling his dad, he's like, Dad, he says, I really want the Wind Raider. And then he goes, I want it much better than I want Teela. And his dad's like, you really want more than one Teela? Well, maybe we'll take Teela back and we'll get the Wind Raider. I don't think that ever happened. I don't think the store would take it back, but an open figure that's been played with because you want another figure. I don't know. Maybe they would. But I think he eventually got his Wind Raider. I think he got most of the toys too. I know he got Battle Ram before I did. And that reminds me. It must have been closer to Christmas, because they were a Jewish family and they celebrated Hanukkah. And I don't know much about Hanukkah as far as when it falls, but I know that Hanukkah must have fallen before Christmas, because he started getting his Hanukkah presents early. And, if anybody knows anything about Hanukkah, you get presents, on various days. Not big presents, but you get a bunch of smaller presents over a course of period of time. You might get one big final one. I think he got Grayskull too. That's Christmas. But he had one of the Hanukkah days. He got Battle Ram, and I know he got it before I did. And I was jealous this time. I wanted Battle Ram. I had to have Battle Ram. I eventually got Battle Ram, I think before Christmas as well, just to pick up from, Kittyland again. But I, that Christmas I did get Castle Grayskull. He-Man was. I got Tila eventually. I think I got Man at Arms from my mom. And I know my grandma, she didn't know anything about this stuff, so I think she just had my mom pick it up. But I remember I got He-Man. My grandma used to always have these gift boxes that she would do. She'd buy these gift boxes. She usually put shirts and socks and clothes and stuff in, but this one had a He-Man figure in it. And I remember opening up that Christmas Eve at their house. And then I remember this was just as the divorce was happening, or just as it was finalizing. So I got that there. I don't believe it. I think I take that back. I think we went to my mom's on Christmas Day evening because I already had Grayskull, and Grayskull I got from my dad, so that must have been Christmas Eve at his house. Because I remember it was a big. I have a Polaroid somewhere of me with holding the Grayskull up, but I can't find it. I got a whole box Polaroid, not just Polaroids, but lots of Kodak film or pictures that were developed from that time period and even earlier. But I'll go through it sometime. If I dig it up, I'll show everybody. But I got Castle Grayskull, which blew me away with that box. The artwork blew me away. And then I remember I got Dark Tower by Milton Bradley at the time, which, like I said, was the boxes were relatively about the same size. I think the Dark Tower was more vertical, box, and they both had lots of really cool fantasy art on it. They're big presents, so I don't know. I just kind of always equate Dark Tower and Grayskull. I mean, Dark Tower, Grayskull. I mean, they're both castles-ish. So, I got the Grayskull, and then eventually I started getting. I remember I got Beastman, and then as I guess that would have been into the early 93. I would have ended up getting Beastman eventually. I thought I had everything from the 82 by Christmas, but probably not. Yeah, because I got Battle Cat late too. For some reason, Battle Cat didn't interest me that much. I mean, you would think it would be a big tiger the guy rides on. Again, I really wasn't a huge He-Man fan. I really liked Skeletor and Beastman and Merman. Merman's another one I ended up picking up after Christmas, now that I remember. I like the bad guys. I've always liked the bad guys better. They're just cooler. But, so, let's fast forward to 2001. And they were coming out with reissues of the original vintage line, and I remember seeing those at a Toys R Us, and I started picking those up. A girlfriend at the time thought I was an absolute lunatic for doing so. What are you buying those for? But I ended up getting most of those. I don't think I got them all. I know I got a Battle Cat, Skeletor, and a He-Man. Panther, Skeletor, He-Man, Battle Cat sets. I think I found those at a Meijer. And I had those. I gave those away as a gift to my ex-wife's nephew when I first met him. I was trying to impress the family, and I gave this gift of all these He-Man guys, and they destroyed everything within a day. Lost everything. Everything was gone. I tried to get stuff back, and they just destroyed everything. So there went that collection. So let's fast forward again. My son's, born. I'm divorced now, and then looking around for things to do with my son and things that I liked as a kid. That he might like, and He-Man, of course, came up. So the first thing I think I did was I just started introducing him to the Filmations cartoon. I think I bought these on Amazon at the time. And got him so he could watch the He-Man show. I know it's on YouTube now. I don't know if it was then. But, I think at the time it was kind of hard to find, so I ended up buying these off of eBay. They're just regular DVD sets. And that's pretty much been my He-Man DVD since then. I know they came out with the newer box. It's a little more streamlined, but those will do, I think the next thing that happened was my friend Jason. He was said, "Hey, you're trying to get your friend into, or you're trying to get your son into He-Man." He says, and so he gifted me for my birthday. One of those years, I think it was 2015, 2016-ish, somewhere around there. Gifted me with this, which was all the mini comics. And even though I like the Filmation show, I really liked the mini comics more because they were, they weren't as kiddie. They were more, they weren't super, adult, but they were, they were a little bit cooler. They had really nice art. I used to draw a lot of this art myself as a kid. That first wave of mini comics were pretty sweet and really cool covers. Probably the most iconic for me, or the one most memorable for me with the covers, probably this one. I really like that cover. So I got this book and I kind of showed my son, and he was sort of interested, but not really interested. He liked the cartoon better. And of course he took to the bad guys too straight away, as he was later to coin the phrase pancake head. They were definitely pancake heads. So he liked that. The mini comic as it went was okay. It became more comic-like. Like I think this is the one with, which one was this? This is the Ram Man one, I think. It became more like an actual comic book with panels. I don't know which one I like better, but I kind of liked them both at the time, both styles. They obviously stuck with the comic book as they went on, I think, these are later ones. I gotta say the artwork on the later ones was pretty crappy. I like the artist and the art in the first, I'd say at least the first 2 years of mini comics. The third year was okay as well, but then by the time it hit which I was out of it by 84. So really half, I would say 3/4 of this book is pretty much lost on me. But, it's got all the original mini comics in it. I had those with those reissues, and of course those are lost or destroyed as well. So those are gone. And then I decided, hey, there's a cross-cell. I know I have an image of it. I got an image window open. I can show you some images, because you might want to see stuff a little bit better I've taken photographs of. But see if I can find that cross-cell from the original mini comic in here. Now I'll pull it up in the image search. But they did do this on the back of the the 82 mini comics. I think like the first 4 or whatever it was. I know there's 8 figures that came out originally, but I'm not gonna be able to find it off the top of my head or right away. Unless it's in the very back, probably not in the very back either. But they had a cross cell, and I really like the art because the art was indicative of the mini comic, more so than the Filmation style. So I started working on this, and I'm an artist and I do comics for a living, so I decided to redraw the artwork from that cross cell and mount them on foam core. These are really dusty. I tried to coat them with like some clear Elmer's glue to kind of make them more plasticky, and that really collected a lot of dust. The black foam core doesn't help either. It really collects the dust. And I've had these, since I made them. And they were supposed to be for my son because, I didn't have the toys to give him because his cousins ruined those. I don't sound bitter about that, do I? Anyways, and there was the Beastman, the original style Beastman. So I made the 4, 2 villains, 2 heroes. I was eventually going to make the rest of them, but these were the only 4 that were on that cross cell, and I kind of wanted to keep the style consistent. And I did a Battle Cat. Now all it says is I just drew this on drawing paper, just redrew the artwork from the cross cell, and then colored them with colored pencil. These are all colored pencil. And then I just cut them out used some spray tack and spray tacked them down to a piece of black foam core, then cut them out. I shouldn't have went right to the line. I should have left a little bit of a margin, just, you know, so it wouldn't have been so jangy. And then kind of built, look at the dust on it, and built the base onto them, you know, and then, you know, so they'd stand up. And then here's my battle ram. There it is. So then there's the battle ram, again covered in dust, but you can see the, you know, my ink. I threw these together quick. I mean, these were sketchy, very sketchy. Just took some drawing pens and some Sharpies and kind of threw it together, colored it up with some colored pencils, and, you know, mounted it. I just wanted to get him some toys quick. I got pictures somewhere I was going to show you of him playing with them, but I can't find those. This was kind of a challenge. I made a Grayskull based off of that original art, and as you can see, I didn't have paper big enough at the time, so I had to take 4 sheets of I should have just did it on poster board. I don't know why I didn't do that, but, you know, I just did it on 4 pieces of paper, and then mounted the 4-piece paper and stitched them together. They looked seamless at the time. Now that it's starting to age and kind of curl, it's, you know, it's starting, the glue is starting to come off here. But the problem was I ended up covering it with that clear Elmer's glue, and I didn't realize that, you know, look at it, it bowed it. It shrank it. Look at the dust, Jesus. But it shrank it, you know, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it kind of gives you that ominous presence, like it's looming at you. You know, it's coming at you, type of thing. Kind of like a forced perspective, or almost like a fisheye lens. It just gives you this weird kind of effect, which is fine. Like I said, it was a spur of the moment kind of thing, and I wanted to do that for my son, so we still kept them. I haven't thrown these away. I don't think I ever will. You know, so that was these guys. And there's He-Man again. And then, yeah, and that's all we had. We had the cartoon. We had the mini comic book. We had these paper toys, these cutouts, and you know, that's all we had for a few years until the Origins was announced. And I wasn't going to go back and hunt down vintage figures. They're just way too expensive. I would have liked to, but I didn't. Well, I'll take that back. We technically did, in that once the Origins came out, I started showing my son the vintage characters and all the pancake heads, especially 85 plus, you know, the year 85 plus in those waves, because a lot of pancake heads with the Snake Men and all that stuff, and he really took to those. Me, it's 82 to 84. Him, it's 85 to whatever it ended, 88. And I started looking for that. Went down the antique shop downtown Bay City where I live, and I found a lot of them there, and I found a lot of them at you know, online, various places. A lot of them missing their weapons, but they were in pretty good shape. A lot of them had the weak wobbly legs, which I saw a video online on how to fix that with the O-rings and the eye hooks. So I ended up getting a few sets of those from Home Depot, and then I ended up fixing all of the figures that he got, vintage figures that he got, that were that had the wobbly legs. And you know, we kind of doctored him up a bit, and he still has them. They're out sitting on his toy shelf, and he still has, you know, those. He's replaced most of them with the Origins versions, but he still has the vintage, and we'll probably keep those. Even when we get the replacements, we'll keep the vintage ones. So we did get some vintage. He has a vintage Bashosaurus. When I got my Battle Ram replacement, which did have the stickers on it, by the way, but they're all torn and everything. So I used some stuff to remove all the stickers, and then I was going to wash it. Actually, I washed all the adhesive remover off, and then which is just lighter fluid. Just use lighter fluid. Doesn't smell like lighter fluid. And then I just soaked it in some Dawn. But since it's been sitting out since then, it's gotten dusty again. I think I need to soak it in Dawn again before and wash it off before I put this. I ordered from Australia, some guy on eBay. He had replacement stickers for the Bashosaurus, and the Battle Ram, and I got the stickers. Are still in my file, but I haven't done it yet. So I'll definitely wash this before I replace it. I was also looking for replacement bullets, but like I said, this one works. It just doesn't. It goes back in screwy and to turn to the side, which I don't think was an issue back in the day. Maybe it was, but I don't know if it's the mechanism inside that's messed up or it's the bullets. I don't really have to have extra bullets, but the bullet's fine for now. You know, I'm not going to fire it because I don't want it to fight it putting it back in again. But so I got that, but again, I want the Origins version of that. So when it comes out, I will buy it faster. You know, can't even open up my wallet fast enough to buy the replacement for that. So that kind of brings me to the Origins guys. I kind of have them set in the same vein as those guys. But here's He-Man. I did. This is the updated He-Man. I do have the other one, and I also have the other one still in the package. But this was the updated one with the vintage head. You know, I had to have that. I still need to get at some point the vintage or the Eternian Guard, which I still never got. Just so all I really want is the head. I just want the original head with no mustache. I know, you know, Duncan has the mustache from the cartoon from Filmations, but you know, the original figure had no mustache, and that's kind of how I wanted to display him originally. Also, by the way, my son's got a couple of them, but I really don't care for the even though I like the mini comic better than the Filmations cartoon, I've always have. I still don't really have a hankering for the mini comic versions of these guys. Some of them are exclusives that are almost impossible to get, so I'm not paying crazy amounts for some of them. I think like the Trapjaw. I know they're coming out with, sorry, the Triclops. I know they're coming out with the Trapjaw, which looks cool, and he looks like he is in the mini comic. I may or may not get him. The Naked Stratos came out. We've got him. You know, you can get him a dime a dozen. I can get him on clearance for like $5. You know, my son's got Naked Stratos. I don't think we opened him. I think he's still in the package. You know, we got him, so I don't need to buy him again, even though he's technically my son's. And he'll get all this stuff eventually, anyways. But I may get the Trapjaw. I'm not sure yet. I know we also have the Green Goddess Tila, which we did open up, so we do have that one. So we have some of them, but I'm not, for my collection, I don't really care. I just want them as close to the original, the 82 line, as possible. This is not the updated Skeletor. However, this is the better head that came with the Battle Armor Skeletor. And I just swapped it out, and I put the not as bad one on the Battle Armor Skeletor, and then the really bad one I just put in a bag with all the accessories that, you know, I don't have displayed with them. So it's not the updated Skeletor, but it is a better Skeletor than that one. I don't know if anybody's got the updated one, but I don't know if they had the loop made for the like they did with He-Man. They made that loop and put the better sword. I like having the sword that clips in half because it's just like the original. I know the updated one's a little better because it fits in the hand better, but that's fine for me. That's all I did as a kid. I just most kids did, just tucked his sword behind his little armor thing there. Of course, Beastman. Like I said, I think he was the only one that was hard for me to find when I had to find the new Origins figures, which I started getting at the end of 2020. Like I said, I think I ordered everybody but him and the Sky Sled with Prince Adam. Everything else was ordered on Walmart. And this is before I learned that Walmart, because I had never ordered from Walmart before, so before I learned that Walmart, you know, destroys their packages when they send them to you. Luckily, none of my packages were messed up. They came fine for me, so I guess I just got lucky. But I eventually got Beastman. I found him. I think I found him. That's how I discovered like Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth, was trying to track him down. Because I didn't buy him in the store. I know I bought him online. And of course, you know, the Battle Cat. I just like to kind of do comparisons. The Battle Cat, which is pretty good. You know, this puppy always pops off every 5 seconds, just like the original. I do agree with most people. Articulated paws would have been better. Outside of that, it's fine. You know, I like the fact that he is somewhat articulated. I also like the fixed, non-posable one, the original one. I like that one too. So obviously this one's easier to get. I mean, I think you can get these at Ollie's now for like $10. They're really easy to find. And then before I get to Grayskull, here's the culprit. I didn't pull out Prince Adam. He's in the case, but it looks great. And I like the fact you can swap out the heads and put on the more evil version if you're going to put Skeletor's guys on it. The stand's fine. This is neat. But really, it's such a pain in the pull up. I want this. So if this is great looking. If this is going to look as good as this, I don't know if it's going to come with another one of these, or it's just going to come with the back and then you plug in the front. I don't know how. They'll probably come with a new front to it, most likely. I hope they don't pack it in with a figure that I don't want. If it comes with another He-Man, that's fine. Come with another one of the guys that I already have, I don't mind that. But don't add another $20 onto it and pack it with a figure, please. Just make the toy as it is. That's how it came out originally. But yeah, so I like this. I don't dislike this. But this has been my grievance since day one of learning about Origins, and it really is my only gripe. I mean, little things like the paws and the feet or thing, they eventually... I do have the flocked Panther. I haven't opened him. He's still in the package. But I have both Panther and the flocked Panther. I mean, they made little changes and stuff here or there, but this is the biggest gripe. This is my biggest gripe. It was, why did they do this? I don't mind that it came with Prince Adam. It's fine. I was going to get him anyways, because he's part of the 84 line. But, and that's the other thing. Why pack Prince Adam with it? Why didn't they pack an Eternian Guard with this? Or some army builder? You could eventually get these for, like $5 a piece. They went on clearance. You got to army build a whole army of these guys. Nobody wants to buy 15 Prince Adams army build just this, But I'll keep it. I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's still my collection, even if they do come out with the regular one with a Sky Sled already on it, and this is just an extra. I'll put the bad guy head on it, maybe, and put a bad guy on it. I like Trapjaw on it, like in the commercial. Well, in the one episode of Filmations, which was also in the commercial for Filmations, I vividly remember the Trapjaw shooting the towers off a bunch of towers with the one. That was kind of neat. But there's that, and of course, I'm not going to open it up and go crazy. I'm sure everybody who has Grayskull knows what's in it, but there's the Origins Grayskull. Incidentally, this past Wednesday, was the day I was supposed to get the Point Dread with the Talon Fighter, and instead I got an email and said, "Oh, we're sorry about the delay. I knew this was going to happen." When they gave me when I pre-ordered that thing and they gave me a specific date when it was going to be delivered, I knew that was going to be utter horseshit. I knew that they were going to screw it up somehow, and I knew I was going to get a email saying, "Hey, we're changing your date." And sure enough, I was right. So it gave me a window. Oh, it'll be your new ship date is June 5th through August 5th. Whatever. I'm assuming it's still not in the stores. I know, like, I saw Pixel Dan has one, and people have gotten them online, but I don't know if it's readily available yet. So maybe nobody's getting it yet. Maybe I'm not the only one. But it's on its way, supposedly, unless they cancel my pre-order, which will kind of tick me off, because the whole reason of ordering it on Amazon was because I have Amazon Prime to not pay shipping, and it was a couple of dollars cheaper than Big Bad Toy Store. So there's that. And the back, I won't grab it, but there's the box. I keep all the packaging. I'm going to make a whole video into itself on what the hell to do with all the packaging. But I've got all the packaging for everything, even the cards, everything, because I want to save all the card art. I know they have a book coming out, which I also have in pre-order to get, that has all the artwork in it. Maybe at that point, I'll start getting rid of some of or packing them even more away, the card art, since I just have a book I can flip through and look at. But anyways, from there, that's pretty much, I mean, I've got, that's right, I made up some stills, but I guess they're not. You've seen everything that I was going to show you in the stills anyways. I just think, I had the cross-sell, I think I pulled up for the original 82 just to show you what was available. And like I said, I didn't pull everything out. Tila, Zodiac, Merman, and Stratos are still in the case. I haven't taken them out. I don't want to whip the camera around. But I got a Detol from IKEA with lighting, so that's where top shelf is 82 to 83, and continuing with 83, and then the rest of 84, and then on the side I got them on cupcake stands so they rise up. But yeah, like I said, 82 to 84 is what I'm collecting. My son's, he's still sort of in it. He kind of, one day's in it, one day's out of it. But obviously, it's a testament to today. Because I ask him all the time, hey, do your friends play with action figures? Do your friends have He-Man guys? I'm like, no. Does any of your friends through the entire school, any of your elementary schools, because you had to switch a couple elementary schools, it's just the way the system is here, but he said, no, nobody plays with toys, Dad. That's something for you old guys. So, kids don't play with toys, and if they have them, it's because they've got parents like me that tried to get them into it, probably to no avail, losing out to YouTube and losing out to millions of Mr. Beast videos and Fortnite and Minecraft and Roblox and all that stuff that kids are into. I ain't into it. I played some of it, but and I'll watch it with them. But all right. Well, other than that, I went over 30 minutes again. I figured I would. Well, at least it's better than doing a bunch of two-parter episodes. I'll eventually touch on 83 and 84 and just do separate episodes for those because I got stories involving those too. I think I've told most of my stories for the original line. I can't think of, Christmas 82, friends that were into it. I do have some stories that I will save for the 83 line because it happened during the 83 line. Some not weird stories, but just things that just, even my dad questioned back as a kid. But, all right, so let's wrap it up here. It's the end of the week. Still debating on whether or not I'm going to do Friday and Saturday episodes. I may just do a video every day if I have time. My son is coming over this evening, so he might occupy a lot of my time as well. But if not, then I'll probably pick back up Monday and do another. Try to do at least Monday through Friday, do a video. And I'll touch on another subject. I think I'm gonna bop around. I'm not gonna go straight into another He-Man. I did a little bit of G.I. Joe. Maybe I don't want to go G.I. Joe heavy either. So maybe I'll get into the Transformers and kind of do my Transformer bit as well. But other than that, everybody have a good weekend. Thanks for watching. Please, like and subscribe. Do all that jazz that you're supposed to do on YouTube. It helps me out. Help can grow my channel. This isn't I'm not trying to make this a thing to monetize. Be nice if it does. Just like anybody. Nobody's going to turn down money. But this is more of just me just sharing my passion for this stuff, I have another passion, which is what I do for a living, and, I've touched on it, and I'll get to that eventually. I don't think that the two coincide with this. I mean, they do and they don't, but we'll save that for another day. Other than that, have a good weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.